Hey guys, it's Bellamy here from Midnight Suns and welcome to my review for the new Amazon Prime Video series, Like a Dragon Yakuza. So as a disclaimer, I'm reviewing this show purely as a first-time Yakuza viewer. I've never played any of the games at all. And this show is based off a very popular game series, the Yakuza game series. And yeah, I have zero knowledge of the games, so I'm just going in purely blind and as a brand new viewer, brand new fan of this whole world, the Yakuza world. I've heard a lot of people say that this show is very inaccurate compared to the video games, but I've never played the games myself, so I will just judge this show as a standalone product on its own. And to start off this review, over the years I've heard a lot of people say that there's a lot of comedy in the Yakuza games, but I would say this TV show is extremely serious. There's little to no comedy in it. This is a very serious show about the Yakuza, which is a big organized gang crime ring in Japan. And one good thing I would say about this show is that it has a really high budget, or at least it feels like it has a really high budget. I don't know what the exact budget is, but people online estimate it's between 30 to 50 million US dollars. And I would say for the amount of money that they spend on this show, it looks even more high budget than a lot of the even like the Disney Plus shows. Like for example, on Disney Plus, they made the Obi-Wan Kenobi show for 90 million. I will even go so far as to say that Yakuza Like a Dragon, this TV series, looks even better than the Obi-Wan TV series, even though that show had like twice the budget, possibly even triple the budget if this show was 30 million. And yeah, this show looks really good with all the sets and the amount of background extras is crazy. Like in so many scenes, they'll just have dozens of Yakuza background characters, like, you know, when the bosses are talking and then they have all the background Yakuza in the back. Like the amount of extras they have is crazy in this show. And I will also say, even though this show is only 6 episodes long, each episode is long. They're at least 40 to 55 minutes each. So these aren't like the 20 to 30 minute Disney Plus episodes. So yeah, with the amount of money that Amazon put into this show, I feel like they really stretched every penny and make the most out of whatever budget they had. And in terms of acting, I think all the actors did a great job. Like in particular, there are like 4 main characters and they get the same actors to play them both in the old and young versions of themselves. They definitely were able to play their characters as both like in their late 20s and in their teenage years. And in this show, the story basically we follow these 2 Yakuza members, Kiryu and Nishiki, and the both of them are basically rising to power in the Yakuza, and this show follows their journey of how they rise to power. We have Kiryu who's rising in power by participating in these underground fights. And then we have Nishiki who's more of a political player and he rises ranks within the Yakuza. So Kaku Kento plays Nishiki, and for those of you who don't know, he's one of Japan's biggest actors. He's also the luckiest guy alive because he's married to Ikura Nana, who is, by the way, the best Japanese actress ever. So yeah, needless to say, he's one of the highlights of this show. And then Takeuchi Ryo plays Kiryu, who is the other main character in this show. And I think he's really great too. Whenever the two of them, those 2 main characters, whenever they're on screen together, that's when this show is good. Now that I think about it, like the scenes where they are separated, those are the less fun parts of the show. Like the best parts of the show by far are definitely when the 2 of them are on screen together at any time. They have really good chemistry together and you can really feel their brotherhood. Now in terms of the action in this show, it really feels kind of like a video game because it feels like the main characters have plot armor and everyone else is really weak. Like Kiryu especially, he just goes around like one-shotting a lot of people. It really does feel like a video game sometimes. And I would say the action choreography is both realistic and unrealistic at the same time. It's unrealistic because you have one person defeating like 10 Yakuza. But on the other hand, it is also somewhat realistic because most of the fights devolve into like street brawls, you know? These aren't like the fancy martial arts fights. All the fight choreography in this show felt very grounded, like really just people like tackling each other and hitting each other on the ground. So yeah, there wasn't any fancy fight choreography, but I still think it served its purpose for what it was. I also think the story overall was pretty interesting. I really like the whole subplot with the demon. Although I will say I didn't like the last episode at all. Like the way they wrapped up that whole demon subplot and all the other main plots and subplots of the show, which I will not spoil. The way they tried to wrap everything up quickly in that last episode felt very, very rushed. And I'll be honest, Nishiki was my favorite character until the last episode. I really think the last episode did not do him justice at all. Like the ending of this show, I really felt was the weakest part of this show. I do wish that they didn't try to rush to wrap up everything in that last episode. But other than that, I thought the first 5 episodes, the story was really good. Like I watched a lot of Japanese live action TV shows and this is definitely one of the better ones. And also I must point out the cinematography in this show is actually really good. There are some very iconic shots in this show that I will definitely remember for a long time. Like at the end of episode 5 when you have Nishiki sitting at his desk in his headquarters and like all the lights are off and the whole room is being lit by the moonlight, by the rain, by the lightning in the background. I thought that was super badass and that was really epic. And yeah, this show does have some really pretty shots. But okay, now it's time for me to give this show my final rating. Overall, I'm giving Like a Dragon Yakuza a 7 out of 10. Like I said earlier, I thought the first 5 episodes were pretty good. Like I would give the first 5 episodes maybe a 7.5 out of 10. But that last episode to me was like a 6 out of 10, so I shall just average it out to a 7 out of 10 for the whole series. Now, is there gonna be a season 2? I don't know, but if there is, I'll definitely watch it. It felt like they were rushing to wrap up all the plot threads in the last episode for this season 1. So even if there's no season 2, I think most fans of this show will be satisfied. Although they do end this show on a pretty big cliffhanger, they introduce a whole new plot thread. And I'm not gonna spoil what it is, but yeah, I assume if they do a season 2, they will be exploring that plot thread more. But if they do make a season 2, I hope it is better than this first season. I pray they don't try to rush the ending in the last episode again like this first season. And yeah, I thought this first season did some pretty good setting up for the future of this whole Yakuza TV franchise if there is one. And as somebody who, like I said, did not play any of the games at all, I quite enjoyed this show. I think it is a pretty fun, badass show about Yakuzas in Japan. That being said, I heard the games are way better than the TV show, so I will definitely be playing the games soon. And yeah, with that being said, we've come to the end of this review. If you haven't subscribed already, please do consider subscribing and hit that notification bell to keep up to date with all my future TV reviews here on the Midnight Suns channel. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay gold and never fade. Bye guys.